best late-night conservative talk show in America, Heads Radio. And listen, there are no people better on the air to give you the best in conservative talk than Sackhead Sean and Sackhead Clint. And we're working on the immigration papers for a certain other guy who happens to work here, too. For those who are tuning in around the world to the best in late-night conservative talk, Heads Radio.
Hack News. Hack News.
Radio.
Hack News. Hack News.
Radio.
Sack.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America. In America.
Into the silo.
In this web was a large, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest spider I've ever seen.
And welcome to the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Hold on, I'm being told he needs more sound. More sound.
I need more cowbell.
More cowbell. It's all the cowbell you're getting, bro.
Damn it.
What's the frequency, Kenneth?
What's the frequency, Kenneth? It's actually a great song. And I'm not really a fan of that band, but that song was actually really good. Thank you so much for joining us. It is the 31st of January, 2018.
All your base belong to us.
Wow, good meme call.
Thank you.
I want to thank our special guest for being in studio with us this week, Sackhead Clint. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's good to be here with you guys.
If you don't know how to use anything over there, just let me know. I'll give you a heads up.
I've got my Wookiee coffee cup.
You do.
That's actually your Wookiee
It is
coffee
my
cup.
Wookiee coffee cup.
And delicious
And
coffee as well.
penance, he brought cherry
Yeah,
slices.
He's
Yes.
forgiven.
Now, if you guys recall, I brought orange slices.
You did.
3 weeks ago.
they
And
were
candied
love 'em.
peanuts.
Yes.
Love them.
Yes.
And so I actually
Cherry
found
slices, great.
Yes.
cherry slices and gumdrops.
And penance was paid, and I appreciate it.
Here it is. Oh, but wait. I'm gonna eat this, but he also gave us
gumdrops.
Yeah.
a gumdrop
He was just really going at it.
and a green gumdrop.
Yeah, I did.
What's
It's
better
green.
way-
It is
Very
true.
nice.
It is true. Green gumdrops.
And he also gave me a second cherry slice. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yep. I did. You're welcome.
I'm set.
Yeah,
I'm set there for 2 hours.
and you look
over
pretty
this
set.
right there.
I'm
Thank
not
you.
going to lie. You look pretty set.
I've always looked set.
I don't know how much more set you could look, but you look pretty friggin' set.
Well, he could look a little more set. Let's be honest, like just a little bit more set. But for the most part, he looked pretty set.
I'm fairly set.
He said fairly set, pretty set. So that's good.
Fairly set.
That's okay
Yeah.
for me. It's
Yeah.
No, it's awesome.
close enough for government work. Oh, and chat, welcome to Mike. Michael's in chat. Simone is in chat.
Hey.
Hey,
And guest 1863,
hey,
who we all know
hey, 1863,
is infinitely better than.
1862.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Always.
Yep.
Always. And we appreciate 1863.
But 1862, not so much.
No.
Like we've had issues
Well,
with
you know,
18.
He was sadly lacking in some areas.
Mostly philosophical and
Hell yeah. Oh yeah.
He got uppity.
pretty sure he can't PT.
Yeah. He got uppity.
Yeah.
He got uppity. Well, I mean,
So welcome to 1863. We were anticipating and looking forward to your appearance.
and we're glad you're with us.
Indubitably.
Indubitably.
And we were actually discussing how much we hoped you would join us,
We
Right.
had that extensive conversation.
We did.
Just like 10 minutes before.
which prompted the breakout of the cherry slices a little premature.
And rightfully so.
But I'm benefiting, so I think they're really, really good.
Absolutely.
I think
So thank you.
I think it just had
You're
to go.
welcome.
I think we just had to go quick with it. I think that's really what happened. It was just like, hey,
They're here. We're here. Right. We had all the
just do it.
parts to make it work.
let's just do this shit and get it over with.
Yeah.
I agree. Wholeheartedly agree. Oh man, we're gonna have so much to talk about this week.
And nothing happened.
No, nothing whatsoever.
Nothing happened. I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. And we'll catch you next Wednesday.
Same bat time, same bat channel, right here on the Sackheads Radio Show.
Batty,
First
batty,
and foremost, sir, it's been a while since you've been in a microphone. How you doing?
I'm,
How you doing?
No, the other guy,
oh,
Okay.
not the old guy. The other guy.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Good. Well, I mean,
Yeah. I am. Hang on, BZ. Let me get that out of the way.
Okay.
All right. There you
Good point. Thank you.
That'd be a little awkward.
Well, I guess Listen,
You're right. I didn't. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I just thought I'd tell you.
Hey, sorry, I had to zip up my pants real quick because it was. Anyways, it's
It's all
embarrassing.
right.
It was.
That's why we catch everyone in shoulder shots.
right.
No one can tell I'm wearing no underwear right now.
Thank
Right.
God.
Because there's this table here.
Right, and look at so there's this thing. It's called Sackhead's tummy sticks.
Right.
Anyways,
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Right?
Right. God, the potty talk. What are you looking at over there?
Well, I don't know. I'm waiting for you guys.
I'm here.
I'm really-
Ask me how I'm doing. It's great. I'm doing great. Busier than a 5-legged monkey in an ass kicking contest. But
I have the fun size Kirkland water.
you do.
This is called fun size.
Well, you're kind of fun size, so it works out well. Works out kind of well.
Works out kind of well.
Look, of course, we had the State of the Union last night.
Not much going on.
Not much going on there.
No.
But by the way, hang on. I have to say something here.
Okay.
I want to thank Sean for providing a delicious
Oh, stop.
dinner
Right.
of excuse me. So let me see if I can get this description right. So for those of you that don't know, Sean is a master chef.
No, it's true.
Look,
We
hang
found
on a
out.
second. Is there any part of this that's untrue? Please
No,
stop me if it is.
We found out tonight, did we not?
Well, I've known before.
I didn't
I've
know.
known before.
I didn't know.
Sean is a master chef. As a matter of fact, I would put Sean on the Food Network.
Thank you.
And to freelance some stuff, which is pretty amazing. So Sean, this evening's dish. Sean sent out a text earlier, and he said, "Hey guys, I'm handling dinner." I immediately got excited because I've tasted Sean's cooking before,
I have not, so this was completely new.
and I was super excited. My mouth was drooling all day. And here's what Sean made. Sean made a glorious penne pasta
And it was excellent. Can you give a description?
with a delicious tomato-based marinara sauce.
Right.
Kissed with sausage chunks blended perfectly with the tarragon and the oregano and the other Italian spices I don't know because I'm not a master chef.
And the Mario. And the Luigi.
And the Luigi.
And all the other stuff that Clint gets.
Yeah, it even had some of that Italian flag on it. I think it had a little bit of Ferrari in it.
Some Lambo.
Some Lambo. It was had some Sicily. And it was
Just a hint of Fiat.
Yes, just a hint of Fiat,
Right.
A hint, and it was a little Mussolini and
A little Mussolini.
With
It
just
was-
a hint of Topo Gigio.
yes, it was absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was outstanding.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And look, the way the presentation was well done.
We both had two bowls. That's how
we
good
both
it
yes
was.
we did.
We
both had two bowls. And just so you know, notice we said bowls. Sean did not serve us penne kissed with his sausage marinara sauce.
Better
He
than
didn't-
sausage kissed with
Yeah,
his
yeah,
sausage.
Yes.
No.
Hang on, there's the set. There's
You
the set.
you knew it was going to go there.
So, Sean didn't serve this on a plate where shit gets all over the place, and
Right,
it's.
right.
Sean serves this in a bowl,
And not
Like-
not just regular bowls.
right? Not like the square foo-foo freaking bowl. I don't even know where the hell he got that from, right? And the perfect. You're looking at me like I'm out of my mind. Tell me what part of this is untrue.
Every part of this is true.
Beautiful, like the square-shaped bowls. The presentation's beautiful, and he brought in fresh grated mozzarella, or I'm sorry,
Parmesan.
fresh
Parmesan.
grated Parmesan.
Parmesan.
Not the big green plastic circle kind from Kraft,
Nope.
right? But fresh Parmesan to sprinkle on top.
It was flown in
To
from Italy this morning.
bullshit. Sean knows how to make that himself. I can try and
Excellent
give him
point.
credit.
Excellent
Give
point.
Italy credit for that. Sean can show Italy how to make their own fucking food. It was amazing, and the flavor profile was absolutely
I
glorious.
don't even know what that is.
Yes, you do, Sean.
a profile
Yes, you,
of-
look at.
Flavors.
Yes. Sean is so full of shit right now. He's sitting over there like he doesn't know what I'm talking about. That man, I would put, if he opened up a restaurant and he called it O'Shaughnessy's,
O'Shaughnessy's Fine Italian Dining.
O'Shaughnessy's, fine Italian dining and whiskey,
And whiskey. Come on in.
scotch.
Have a the cita.
No, it was so. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And anybody that listen, if there's anybody out there who, okay, look, I'm just going to put it out there. For $10,000, we will fly Sean out to your location. He will prepare you a nice meal.
Oh, and listen.
Serve it up.
Yes, I will.
We'll treat him very well.
Yeah.
We'll give him a first-class ticket out there so that he gets to center himself
Yes.
before he gets to your kitchen.
Bidding starts at $10,000. Email Sean at SHR Media.
Yep.
If we get a $10,000 bid, we will fly Sean out to your location anywhere
First
within
class.
anywhere within the 50 United States of America. We're not flying international.
Well,
Sorry,
it's
folks.
58 if you're Obama. 58
Right.
58 for
contiguous
contiguous states.
states, right.
And Sean will prepare you a nice meal. One nice meal.
One nice meal.
Any bids over 25,000, and I think you could do a brunch,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like a brunch
Yeah.
and an early dinner.
Yeah, I'd love to do
right.
a
Like do
brunch.
a 25 grand, and for 50 grand, he'll be nude. So if you want,
I'll do that without cooking.
right.
For 45, really.
And
But nothing else. This is
And
not a
the-
prostitution.
and
deal. This is for-
$45.
yeah,
and the little
$45.
like at least what 2 squeezy bottles of that Hershey's
Well, yeah,
chocolate.
but that just
sauce,
goes
right?
without saying.
Right. Okay.
Right.
And then the shower afterwards.
Yeah.
Which
Class-
photography will be allowed.
Yeah.
Yes. But thank you. And by the way, if any of you wants to know what that looks like, that's all I'm saying.
You're welcome, guys.
He brings his own plastic sheets and Wesson oil. By
It
the
was-
way.
Make my own slip and slide.
Why? Listen, that's entertaining. Okay?
Well, the best part is Sean says, "Hey, all right, guys, hey, I cooked. You guys got dishes. And, it's like one pot and the pan stuff." So we're like, "Yeah, we got dishes." He goes, "Perfect, guy. My place is right over there." And we get over there and it's stacked. Well, you want to know why we were like 30 seconds late coming on the air tonight? BZ and I were doing dishes.
Yes.
Yep.
Very smart, by the way, Sean.
Oh, no. Hey, you know what? I needed to eat tonight anyhow.
It's like, hey guys, when you're through, just
I was
walk
gonna
your
cook
dishes
anyhow.
across the street. Okay, and we did.
Yeah,
Yes,
very,
we
very
did.
nice.
Only to
Very
discover.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That it was that and the Italian restaurant boxes in the garbage.
Well, my favorite part of this whole story, yeah. 'Cause I'm not that.
it was from scratch, folks,
I'm
and it
not
was
that
absolutely
lazy.
delicious.
I am more cheap than I am lazy. I would have cooked before I ordered.
Yeah, no. To be fair, it was from scratch, and it was absolutely marvelous. Fantastic.
My favorite part
Guy
about
Fieri,
that,
if you're listening,
Hey, Guy.
because I know sometimes you do,
In Santa Rosa.
if you're out there, invite Sean out to show you what he can do. He's magnificent.
By the way, did you know that he sold his restaurant in New York?
no.
No, I did not.
It's because he was being charged rent where he was in New York City, rent $1.7 million a year. Rent.
How is that even a thing?
What, rent? It's been around for a while.
No,
Rent's been around for a little while.
So, how New York can it can be 1.7? Like, I understand how the market works. Why would you want to live in New York City that bad?
Why would you want to live? I wouldn't want to live in New York City. I don't want to live in California.
I not for 1.7.
I don't want to live in California for free.
You couldn't pay me 1.7 to stay in California.
Yes, we could.
Nah.
Yeah, if we paid you 1.7, Sean, here's $1.7 million. Stay in California for the year.
For the year? Oh yeah, I know that's fine. I can put that off. I can travel on that.
Exactly.
Well, that's why your thing starts at a mere $10,000.
Yeah,
which
look-
I think is extremely reasonable.
And that's a bargain.
I
Don't
love
you
the
think
fact
that's
that I keep
reasonable?
getting hoed out in this.
I
What are
think
you
it's-
talking about?
I think
For
it's
10 grand, you
reasonable.
get a trip. What are you complaining about? Oh, so you got to work?
Right.
You're getting paid 10 grand.
Yeah, well, we can go to a country with certain things illegal, depending on what you.
Hey,
guys do.
no. We said in the 50 United States. Remember?
Oh, right.
Yeah,
right.
because
Well,
I don't
that's
want somebody in Mexico to buy in and be a whole thing, and then you disappear, and then fucking be without Sean for the show.
Hola, boys.
and then there'd be the story,
Hola, muchachos.
Sean gets lost in Quintana Roo. Where? What?
I'm still with you, El Guapo.
and then he gets that shirt. What movie was that? The Game. I got drugged and left for dead in Mexico, and all I got's this stupid T-shirt.
Favorite part's when I wake up in a tub of ice, missing both kidneys.
Oh, that's great. That only happened once.
I know, right? The good part is the doctor we found was almost positive it was a match, and so far it's worked out.
Kevorkian?
Yeah. So far it's worked out. I've only had those 2 or 3 episodes where I passed out.
And pissed yourself.
Well, but I mean that.
Well, wait a minute. First, you have to have kidneys to do that, right?
Well,
Oh, no, he had-
I got that
yeah,
Oh,
one.
he had one
We had
good one
one,
left.
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Cost me 15 G's.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Really? I mean, considering it's a kidney.
Is anybody in chat bidding on Sean yet?
There's some kid in Pakistan running around minus a kidney, but that's okay. It's just Pakistan.
I'm guessing he got some of that 15.
Listen, everything
rich.
works.
Sense.
Everything works out in the end.
How's chat room doing this evening, BZ?
Anybody bidding on Sean?
I don't see any betting. We have Mike in chat.
Mike!
We have Simone in chat, and we still.
already said
he hangs in here tenaciously. 1863 is still here.
It could be a she. It could be a she.
And yes, it could be a she. And,
Don't be so damn sexist.
And interacting in chat. So welcome. Good to see you, 1863. Just keep chatting away.
Just keep chatting
By the way,
away.
I don't know if you guys know, but I updated it, and now I updated the couches in the chat room.
Right.
I painted the walls.
Right.
And
Very nice.
we updated to leather furniture. It's now fine.
It's not leather. It's not leatherette.
No, it's not leatherette.
Oh,
I
wow.
got fine Corinthian leather.
Wow.
On the furniture
Corinthians?
in the chat room.
For those of you that don't know where Corinthians leather is from, it's from Corinthia.
Yeah.
That's right.
Have you ever read the Bible?
And
Yeah.
so what
It's
is
from there.
What's the capital of Corinthia?
Corinth.
Corinth. Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Well, and if I remember right,
you're right.
I saw their first.
Corinth.
No, you're right.
No, I
Corinth,
agree.
No, I'm not disputing you at all. You're absolutely correct.
Thank you. Why
So if I recall, their first real ad for this furniture was in Corinthians 13.
right.
Right, and it
Well,
said,
they've been around for the company that produces that leather. They've been around for a long time.
and it said, "Oh,
And
ye
it's why
shall
it's so-
sit,
It's why it's so good.
Oh, ye shall sit
And
in
ye-
thy leatherette.
ye buttocks shall be
Seateth.
comfortable."
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, thank you for doing over the chat room. We appreciate that. Hopefully the
Very welcome.
liquor license gets approved soon. We'll work on that one. As soon as it does, we'll
Well,
start issuing it. As soon as it does.
We still
we're
have
still
to
working
decide
on
whether or not we're just going to go for beer and wine.
No.
Or whether we're going to go for
beer and wine. I heard liquor license, and I was like, why do we need a license for that? 'Cause
Right.
That's,
No, well,
That's
that we
different.
don't need.
We don't.
Right.
Okay.
But
I didn't know.
it. And why would you only want a liquor driver's license?
Yeah.
Forget it.
No.
Clint,
Yeah.
go.
No, I thought we needed a license to. Never mind.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What?
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 I don't get it.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so to the people that are in chat, the nice thing is that it smells like fresh paint, which is great.
It's a
and
lot. I
and
love
that
that odor.
leather smell, I'm loving that. It's like a new car smell.
It's very nice.
It is great.
BZ,
Yes, sir.
does this smell like chloroform to you?
Can someone tell me if this rag smells like chloroform?
By the way, best line I've ever used to open a date.
Hold on. Let me see if I have the right one. Yeah, does anyone else think this rag
that's-
smells like chloroform?
It does have a hint of Zyklon B to it. Though.
And almonds.
Yeah.
For all you guys out there, that is a great opening pickup line to a gal, particularly as you hand her a handkerchief because she sneezes or something.
Okay.
That's a great opening line. Or for a
I-
first date, if you have a bundle of 550 cord and like a ski mask and duct tape, that usually works real well too.
Yeah.
If
yeah.
it's like a
and a really nice ski mask.
right, I said ski mask.
You know what's nice is if you really want to upgrade a little bit, you go to the silk ski mask.
Ooh, you guys are
Or the
fancy.
balaclava.
Fancy.
Just go straight to the balaclava.
The problem with a balaclava is that if depending on which one you get, it shows the gag ball.
No, it doesn't. No, it does. That's why you got to get the one with like the little puffed out, the puffed out
the
nose,
nose, okay.
extension. Don't ask me how I know that those exist.
Okay.
Yeah, and it kind of hides that.
Okay, Mike says, do we have box wine in chat?
Box wine. B Dub is not in chat.
Okay, all right, there you go.
B Dub is not in chat.
B-Dub is not
I'm
in chat
sorry.
tonight.
My favorite part is everyone wants to ask B-Dub about the chloroform incident.
No, she used that line on me.
Right.
That was the best part.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's how she met you.
Right.
God.
Yeah, I was literally walking down the
Monsters.
street, and she pulled a "Hey, Mister."
Hey, mister.
She said, "Hey, Mister, can you tell me if this rag smells like chloroform?" And then,
I'm sorry, that's shite.
yeah, I
It's not
woke
funny.
up in a dungeon with crates stacked with box wine. I was like, "What is
This
this?"
is the strangest. Her throne
Or
was
box
out of
wine.
boxes
Yeah,
of
her
wine.
throne's out of box of
Still
wine.
have never seen box water.
Dude, I'm telling
my
you, Nugget
God,
has
BZ.
I have never seen box water.
Nugget.
Yes.
Nugget has it. I've seen it in Nugget 100 times.
Simone in chat says, I like the contrasting colors here in the chat room.
Oh.
And the aquarium is very nice as well. I was waiting to see if
anyone
anyone
would
would notice the aquarium. And
Yes.
Simone does. So, Simone, you get an award.
Yes. So the funny part is when you discussed the aquarium, I thought 5,000 for a Japanese fighting fish was a little much.
I'm gonna. What's it say? It is $8.
Boxed water. It's $10 for 8.5. It's literally
For half a quart.
boxed water.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
It
Also,
exists.
Simone says that she likes the white Merlot in terms of box wine.
Oh, well, I mean, listen.
Or as us refined folks say, the Merlot.
Merlot.
It's Merlot.
And the little Syrah.
You are fancy.
As opposed to the big Syrah.
Well, it's a petite Syrah, right?
Right.
Isn't that what the wine is?
I'll take
it's the little
tit
Syrah.
for 1,000, Alex.
You know, there's a Vietnamese restaurant down in the South area that's
Mexico?
It's called Pho Lay.
Yes.
Okay, have you ever been to Pho
I know
Lay?
where it
It's-
is.
I've had a faux lait before.
It's PHO,
yep.
and then not
Pho.
Lee, but LE.
Filet.
And that's called P-hole.
Oh, all right.
Pee-hole.
Yeah, P-hole.
See, I call it filet because it's actually pronounced pho versus faux.
P-H-O-L-E. P-hole.
Pea hole. So you go
I
and
gotta-
eat at the pea hole.
We eat at the P-hole. So I got to tell you this story. Before my dad passed away, he used to like to go to Italian
P-hole?
food. And so we took him one night to Buca di Beppo. And they have,
that's
they have-
mouth of the Beppo.
Yeah, they have big family-style dinners, and he really liked it. So one day, about a year before he passed away, he said, hey, let's go to that place. And Dad was notorious for screwing up words and phrases. And there were some people in Ohio when we were living there, and their last name was Drum, and he always called them the Floods. I have no idea. Anyway, okay, a stream of consciousness, all right. And so one night he says, I want Italian. Let's go to that great place you took me to, Buca di Fucco.
Buca di Fucco.
So it became known in the BZ family as Buca di Fucco.
It's Buca di Fucco.
That's
is,
awesome.
And the funny thing is, we
so-
told the waiter that night that Dad wanted to go to Buca di Fucco, so here we are. He laughed. I guess he had to be there.
Buca di Fucco.
Yeah, Buca di Fucco.
Oh, it's amazing. How did we get here?
What?
Dude, we haven't covered a goddamn
I know it's
thing.
25 minutes after.
We talked about your delicious cooking. Guy
And it was-
Fieri is going to invite you onto some cooking
was
show.
Right.
You're going to become famous.
Right.
It's going to be the Sackheads Food Network and commentary. And while you cook, we're going to discuss politics. It's a fucking genius idea,
God,
Sean.
That's great. And you know what? There's almost room for it right there.
And we're calling it Cooking for Conservatives.
You know, people don't believe that we're actually in a studio. They think that we're in a bedroom
I know.
someone's basement somewhere.
Well, you know what's
and
funny
this
is-
is an actual honest-to-God studio.
all the way around. So you know what's funny is earlier you outed me
What are you talking about?
when you were like, oh yeah, you just bring the dishes back to my place across the street.
No, I didn't.
I'm like,
He said across the street. I said we were walking to your house.
Well, okay, what street?
Hey, if somebody dropped a roll of dimes, I'm not going to point fingers at anybody, but
Hello, bus meets
If-
BZ.
hey, there's
anyone-
there's a $1.80 on the floor. Is all I'm saying.
I'll tell you right now,
BZ met the bus.
If my door
Hello.
ever gets booted at 3:00 in the morning, the first words out of my mouth are going to be like, "It was the Italian cooking episode, wasn't it?"
And if they're smart, they'll say, well, now that you mention it.
Actually,
Yeah, we
as a
should
matter
say
of
it
fact,
was. Yeah, it was.
yeah.
It was. Good job on
Yeah,
that, by
last
the
day
way.
of January. That's what it was. I remember it distinctly.
Yeah, good job on that, guys. Good job.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. Oh boy,
You're going to be famous, Sean.
I know.
Cooking for Conservatives is a thing
Cooking for conservative.
on the SHR
Unless
on
someone
the SHR
listens-
Food Network.
Well, that's the SHFN. Unless someone listens right now and they steal the damn idea. Remember the
No, we just
section,
date stamped this.
the section that you cut out of YouTube, and you made a separate thing about it where you guys said, and we thought about that, and all the Demorats are going to pick that up, and we won't get credit for
What are you
it.
talking about? Which one? Which idea was this?
I don't know. But anyway, I hope they don't steal that idea. We're going to have to patent it, or I don't know what.
We just did. It's ours. It's intellectual property. Date
Marcus,
stamp.
Marcus registered.
January 31st, 2018.
Patent pending. No leak to basement.
I'm so glad I'm here right now.
Member FDIC. Batteries not included. Some contents may have settled during shipping.
Of course, during shipping.
Yes.
It always happens during shipping.
Yeah, and our content obviously settled because everything's at the bottom
what's
of
funny
the hour.
is I've never had anything settle after shipping. It's
Really?
always during, yeah.
Really?
That's strange.
How the hell does that happen? I don't know. And have we notified the shippers?
Well, what's funny is I drove by the port the other
I've notified
day.
them twice.
Have you?
Yeah.
I went by the port the other day and I tried telling them. They didn't want to hear it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
'Cause I asked the guy, "Are you shippers?"
Bitches.
And he said, "Yeah," or "we," or something. I wasn't really paying attention.
Right.
So I started to tell him about my settling issue.
Right.
Were they the wood shippers, by the way?
Well,
with that big machine that sends,
no,
you put
shippers,
it in one end and
shippers,
it comes out
shippers. That's chipper.
The others. Are you
That's
sure?
chipper. Yeah. No. So
I'm pretty chipper.
Essentially said, "Sir, this is the horn blower, and you need to get off." And
and you said, is that when you said your mom's a horn blower?
Right, that's
yeah.
right.
And she just got
so
off.
it got ugly, really.
That's why we call it the piccolo. Wait. Was that a real laugh? That wasn't a real laugh.
It was a real laugh.
That was a real laugh.
That was
Are you
an
sure that was a real
absolute
laugh?
giggle.
Absolutely.
Are you sure that wasn't a radio laugh?
No, that was not. His radio laugh was more like. That's more his radio
it's
laugh.
right. It's the
afterwards. Afterwards that you know that.
Folks, listen.
Right.
We said it here. If you hear Sean do the, you know it's fake. Like that right there.
Yes.
Either that or he's tired.
I am. So what's funny is normally on show days I get up about 8 in the morning, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. This morning, for the life of me, I rolled over at 5 minutes till 5 a.m. and I was wide fucking.
What the Frank Birders, Sean? You know how disappointing that is to hear.
Yeah, it's very upsetting. All the NyQuil I drank last night easily should have got me till like 7.
Look,
Yeah.
now
Was
here,
it night quill or day quill?
It was bourbon.
did you mix? Okay, I was just gonna say.
I just see how good he is. I don't even have to ask him that question. He just comes out with the damn answer.
I call that night quill.
Night quill.
Yeah,
Not night quill.
I call that night quilt.
Right.
The
night quilt.
The
night
leader
Yeah.
in the Guardians of the Galaxy is Peter Quill.
Peter Quill.
Peter
That's
Quill.
right.
Peter Quill.
That was.
Yeah.
Damn.
See what I did there?
I
Hey, guess what? It's the bottom of the hour.
Oh,
Are we here already?
fuck.
No,
Well, let's take a break so we can actually talk about some shit.
It's almost like we've been
We're making
stalling.
up for lost time, and tell you what, even though it went like that, I had a great time.
Always
I had a great
have
time. Too. I miss you guys, and I'm sorry I've been gone a lot, and I'll be gone a little bit more probably through February.
Media.
Oh,
But
sorry.
yeah, well, fuck Clint, right? Not here anyways.
That's
Let's
right.
go to
Just-
break.
Yeah, just run over him.
Yeah, Jesus. But I will be around more.
Soon?
Hopefully in a few more
Sort
weeks.
of, kind of.
So,
I'm around more
sorry.
too, but that's nearly just weight gain. Folks, we'll be back here. after
I'm
the second
round.
You are round.
Round is a shape.
Round is
I'm in shape.
You are in shape.
I am in shape.
Oh Lord, we'll be back right after this.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American maggots won't. BZ is fundamentally changing America one diaper at a time. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, where the speech is free, but the drinks are not. The Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night, commencing at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, where pushback is a requisite art form in and of itself. Let your ossicles be truly liberated when you listen to the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, only on SHR Media Network. No ferrets were harmed in the making of this ad.
When dirty politicians, shadow governments, and deceptive Islam blind the world with fake stream media smoke, their only fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through shrmedia.com, highplainstalkradio.com, and the Western Free Radio Network at Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes for a different perspective weekly on the Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver Common Sense Show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians, a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless, hope to the hopeless, clues to the clueless. Sackheads Sean, Sackheads Clint, and Sackheads BZ. The Sackheads Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern on shrmedia.com. Watch on YouTube, Facebook, and the High Plains Pundit Network. The best in late-night conservative talk, the Sackheads Radio Show, only on the SHR Media Network.
Go ahead, I'll say it again.
Some of the best A-roll is going to be B-roll.
Like, what are you talking about? We just, the last question we didn't cut in a couple seconds.
Yeah, I'm a freaking artist. I can't just come up with this shit off the top of my head. Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Good point. You're right.
Hey, this is Sackhead Clint, and I'm with Sackhead Sean, Sackhead BZ. No communists allowed on the SHR Media Network.
Damn straight, mister.
Back to the show.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Welcome back to the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network.
Welcome back to the Sackheads Show live on the SHR Media Network.
Welcome to the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network.
My favorite part of coming out that commercial is when Clint hears his own cut
and it kills
laughs
him.
at himself
every time it kills him.
He laughs at himself every time. It's immense.
Hey, if you're not funny, who the hell can...
Hang on a second. I'm laughing at the totality of it. We are fucking hilarious, gentlemen. Sitting over here with my spear and magic helmet.
Spear and magic helmet?
Yes, magic helmet. And I'll give you a sample. If you don't know what that's from, then tune us the fuck out.
I'll give you a sample.
Do you believe in maggots
What?
in a young girl's
that
heart?
is not.
Speaking.
That is not.
It's maggots.
Speaking of maggots, did you see what the Demorats did in the
dude?
Did you see it? First of all, the State of the Union, and I know we'll get into the specifics of the content here in a minute.
Right.
Okay. All of a sudden, this guy comes up and he knocks on the door. And the gal answers, and she says, "Yeah, what do you want?" He says, "Singing telegram." She says, "No, singing telegram. I don't take a singing telegram." He says, "Singing telegram," and she says, "No, I don't want one." He says, "You want the singing telegram?" She says, "Okay, I've never had a singing telegram, so." Go ahead. I'm not sure if I want it. And she says, but wait. I mean, give it some verve. Give it some pump. I want you to really sing it. If you're going to do it great. And he says, da-da-da-da-da, your sister Rose is dead.
State of the Union.
What?
So the worst part is I knew that skit, and I knew it was coming. And I still giggled just as hard.
You still laughed.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Your sister Rose is dead. It's amazing.
Okay.
That was Saturday Night Live, right?
It was an SNL skit, wasn't it?
It was SNL, right?
I don't know. I've heard that joke for years and years. And
Yeah,
years and
I
years
think
and
they did it on
Been
SNL.
around for a long time.
Clint, State of the Union, go ahead.
I don't even know where I was going with that. Did you guys catch it?
I caught a portion of it, and I lost a bunch of it because I had to get in the car and drive here last night
Right.
for the show. So I missed probably 45 minutes of it.
It's the worst excuse I've ever heard in my life, BZ. Sean, what about you? Did you catch it?
True.
I did catch most of it. I caught a lot of highlights today.
I read it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I read some of it too.
I thought for his first State of the Union,
that was very good.
I thought it was outstanding.
Yeah, I agree.
For a first State of the Union for a guy who's never been a politician,
Mm-hmm.
and look, I was not on the Trump train from the very beginning.
No, none of us in here were.
No, not at all. I had during the Republican primary, I would have gone a different direction, but I will say after he got the nomination, I was a supporter, and we talked about that for obvious reasons, particularly SCOTUS, which has panned out, but. I was very impressed with his poise, his leadership, a lot of what he was saying. But what impressed me the most is the man's brilliance. And here's what I mean by that. I don't necessarily mean a brilliance in his words, right? Because other people can write that. Words are easy to script and all that other stuff. But his brilliance in terms of his delivery.
Yes.
And some of the topical choices, which I believe some of that to be him. I don't know for sure, obviously.
I would give you that.
But
It falls in line with some of the choices that he's made off the cuff before.
Yeah, and the Democrats, particularly the Black Caucus. I want to giggle every time I say that. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, but particularly the Black Caucus, who refused to clap, acknowledge, or do anything. For any points he made, and we'll talk about some of those points that the Democrats and particularly the Black Caucus refused to even acknowledge. But the points he was making and some of the things that he was saying, because I believe Trump knew or had a suspicion about what they were trying to do. He knew they were going to be sourpusses, and he was going to do one thing. I think that he was going to throw things out that was going to either cause them to react, in which case he wins because they react and clap to what he's saying.
Right. Or it makes them look like a-holes.
Right. Or they don't react at all and they look like complete assholes and he wins.
This was Nancy Pelosi all night. I thought it was the weirdest thing.
I said on the show last night, it looked like Nancy Pelosi had a sphincter for a mouth.
A mouthful of peanut butter.
All night.
Like it was like some sort of weird bird. Her motions were really like.
I'm gonna say this. I think he was brilliant for that reason.
Yes.
Because no matter what they did, they were screwed.
They all looked.
They were screwed.
Fucked up. Yes. If you can't stand for "In God We Trust," if you can't stand for supporting the flag,
veterans,
lowest, the military,
lowest unemployment
law
rate,
enforcement,
lowest unemployment rate among African Americans.
Then what do you
have?
Right,
lowest unemployment rate amongst Hispanics. Taxes,
new tax laws. How about deregulation like crazy?
That I can understand them not clapping for, right? Because that's not their gig. But really, lowest unemployment rate against. Lowest unemployment rate for minorities. How is that not something that
you made an
Democrats,
excellent point?
Yes,
and I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn when I say this. Didn't you just say outside that your paycheck already went up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the tax cuts?
Yes.
And you saw it reflected in this check.
Yes, I did. Yes.
And you said it was noticeable.
Yeah, it was noticeable. Yeah, my check went up a couple $100.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh, but wait, Demorats
There's
say
more.
those are just crumbs, right? $1,000,
so
$2,000, $10,000 in bonuses. Those are crumbs.
Those are just crumbs.
Just crumbs.
So I want to get into some of the specifics.
But when they do it, it's called stimulus.
Yeah,
right.
I wanted and the fuck, get out. Yeah, I was Look, I'm sorry. I'm like fuck. I was going to say
it's
that.
It's not often you do that.
It's not. But I'm like that because I was literally about to say that. I was
yes.
Yes.
What? Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Bullshit.
It was brilliant. I thought it was absolutely brilliant how that went down. So I was impressed with the State of the Union in terms of kind of what he said, what he wanted to accomplish, the reactions he did and did not get, which I think is actually the bigger story. Look, the economy's the best it's been in how
25?
long?
25, 30 years?
8 years. 8 years under the loving and kind Barack Hussein Obama.
Which what the Democrats say in the rebuttal. Oh well, yes. One Louisiana. One Democrat today. Oh man, I forget his name. But I have to pull it up if I can find it. He said
this is Obama's policies coming into effect.
Yeah, he said I'll give Trump a little bit of credit, but just like we have to give credit to Obama and his policies that are now where we're seeing the
always have to, right?
Yeah. This is why you watch on Facebook right now, because here's a visual to Joe Kennedy III. I did not hear his rebuttal. I read parts of it. But here's the thing, Demorats. For your rebuttal, who did you choose? You chose a Kennedy from Grand Wealth, from Northeast Wealth, from Massachusetts Wealth, a name, a Caucasoid with red hair, very wealthy, and that's who you chose to represent Demorats. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep that shit coming.
All year. Please, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Keep doing it there, assholes. Keep firing, assholes.
But how do the Democrats not even respond to the lowest unemployment rate among minority groups? Lowest unemployment rate, period, right? But among minority groups specifically.
We're just not going to look at that.
Higher wages. Weren't these the assholes who were talking about mandatory minimum wage?
Yeah.
How do you not apply higher
up.
wages and bonuses?
Wages are going up.
The
communities that they're supposed to be serving are now being served.
Job growth. They all talk about job growth, and they can't applaud job growth. Are they so disheartened and pissed off that this shit is happening on his watch?
Right. That's what it is.
2 quarters.
I think the Democrats are done this midterm.
2 quarters of 3% in 1 year.
Yeah.
Under Trump. Never accomplished in 8 years under Obama, and that's Obama's responsibility for putting it there. It doesn't have anything to do with Trump and the tax plan and the stock market,
right?
And
everything else,
getting people employed and removing regulations by the arseload. And here's what it does
for everyone
business.
added. You have to remove 2.
Here's what it does for business that business never had in 8 years under Obama. Consistency.
Yes.
Businesses never knew from one day to 1 year to the next whether to shit or go blind, because they had no idea what new rules, regulations, and strictures
so they did both.
were going to be placed on them. So now they loosen up the purse strings and they start hiring and they start buying more product.
Yes.
And they have more in stock. They have more inventory. They're starting to ship more.
They get glasses and butt wipes.
Yes.
And that.
They can see, and they still shit, but just do it now in a diaper.
That's right.
Look, what I think the moment that pissed me off the most was when Representative Steve Scalise
stood up,
came back, and they didn't.
They didn't do anything.
That's a fellow member of Congress. That's a fellow member of Congress. Did you see that?
Yes.
Who was shot?
The president gave a very lovely and funny intro to. Very jovial and lighthearted, not political at all.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a guy who was targeted because he was a conservative.
Yeah.
And almost lost his life because he was a Republican. In the United States, where he should have that right to choose, just like you do, Democrats, He was down for 3.5 months, almost lost his life, numerous infections, almost bled out.
And you can't find the wherewithal to applaud one of your own.
No, we don't like
one of your own.
Yeah, that was sad. Not only was that sad, but that made me angry. I initially wanted to say, you know what, I give credit for the members that were there because it's classy to show up, not like the a-holes that didn't even show. I thought that you're there to do a fucking job. And part of that job is to be present when the President of the United States speaks, whether you like him, hate him, agree with him, disagree with him.
Thank you.
Your job is there to pass
It's
laws
not your personal
and
agenda.
to work and to work with and to work there, and you can't even show up for that as part of your job.
And then if we turn around and we say, well, you're a
Ridiculous.
no-show. Oh, no, we don't. We were upset and blah, blah, so we didn't show up. Well, wait a minute. What if every conservative had done that for Obama? Oh, jeez. Oh, you racist sons of bitches. What, you don't want to go see the black guy speak?
Yeah.
No, we just don't like his politics. No, it can't be that.
Yeah.
That's how low we've fallen.
It's not at that point. It's not. We don't like his politics. At that point, he is reporting to Congress the State of the Union.
He's giving them an idea of where he's at.
Yes, it's your job. It's when the President of the United States, a duly elected representative of the people representing the federal level, gives a report or reports to, gives his ideas to
Congress.
Another legislative or the other branch of government.
Well,
the Supreme Court was there.
Both houses of Congress. Yep.
Yeah, both houses of Congress.
So he's giving it to the people via the representatives, the states via the senators. And
well, not the states anymore, right? It's all the freaking people.
Should have been,
right. But he's there addressing, which is his job. He is supposed to, on occasion, report to Congress as the State of the Union, hence the name.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to not even do their job,
yes, and not even be able to
receive
listen.
that information.
That's what.
That's how we've fallen. Here's a tweet from Joy Reid, who I think is on MSNBC.
Mm-hmm.
And the tweet said, you have to think about this, what this says. She tweeted, church, family, police, military, the national anthem, Trump trying to call on all the tropes of 1950s era nationalism. The goal of this speech appears to be to force the normalization of Trump on the terms of the bygone era his supporters are nostalgic for. So, church, what this means is literally, church, blow me. Church is gone. Family, blow me. Family's gone. Police, blow them.
Out.
Police are gone. The military,
gone.
Blow them. They're gone. Yep. National anthem, blow it. It's gone. Nationalism, it's gone. Respect for the United States, gone. That's exactly what that means.
Yes.
It's like a sad going out of business sale for freedom. Gone. Everything that you respect and love about our nation, gone.
And then there's this story.
You know what? We fucking let it get to this point.
I agree.
We let it get to this point.
Well, how does evil triumph? The old trope.
When
how does evil
good people
triumph?
do nothing.
Exactly. So what have we been doing?
Nothing.
Yeah,
not a lot. Now, okay,
and then
I can't say it's not the military or the police or a number of factions.
Right.
It's the American electorate.
Lazy and asleep.
Who all they want is their new iPhone 10
or 11.
Who's playing on who's in American Idol, who's going to win in The Voice, who's on what's that?
Cake and circuses.
Yeah.
Cake and circuses.
Who's on that chick show, The View?
Right?
Yeah. That
Rosie
shit is really important. The Grammys, the Academy Awards,
Thank
making
God
statements.
for the Grammys.
That's important.
Right, because they'll stay up later and TiVo and DVR, the Grammys, the before show, the after show, fashion, all that other shit.
Bravo. Really,
and then,
really, the Kardashians.
And then
really
when
important
those same idiots go to a stage like they did before the State of the Union and give the quote-unquote People's State of the Union, which was a whole bunch of rich people telling you what you were supposed to think, and they go, Oh, those celebrities. They have nothing but our best interest
That's
in mind.
right.
God
In
love 'em.
lockstep. Total lockstep.
Mark Ruffalo barely graduated high school. He's giving me political advice. Amen.
He must.
Do you know where cake and circuses came from, or the literal translation bread and circuses? Do you guys know where that came from?
Did you know that it was a Star Trek episode?
Do you know where it came?
No.
It actually comes from ancient Rome.
Really?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it was from Satire 10, I think. When it comes to when it was written that Jovial was talking about. He was a satirist at the time, and he was talking about the downfall of Rome, basically, and how they were seeing the downfall of Rome because all the populace cared about was cake and circuses. They no longer they no longer cared about their birthright or their nation.
Let's go to the Colosseum. Let's see the newest cool shit. Here's a great idea.
No, that's literally what it's from.
No, that is.
Yeah.
And here's the other
Nero,
thing
watch
we'll
it
do.
burn, right?
We'll start hiring mercenaries to do the work of our soldiers.
Colosseum, you mean sporting events and the movies and just about anything else?
Right, like the L.A. Coliseum, only different.
Bread and circuses. Cake and circuses.
Liberal author Jonathan Tassini celebrates GOP fatal train accident. God is working hard today.
Horrific.
This is a story. Now, I'll read the story. Sean, can you fill us in on the train accident?
I can. Go ahead and read the story first, and we'll start.
Are we done with State of the Union?
Did you have something else to add?
Shit, there was a ton of shit in there.
Okay, then let's stop this. Let's keep.
Yeah,
going.
let's
keep going to the State of the Union because we still got the top of the hour coming.
Yeah, let's get on the top of the hour for that.
My mistake.
No, it's okay because we were actually talking about the division, so it actually played in perfectly.
Right.
Namaste.
No, you're going to stay?
Yeah, I'm going to stay.
That's cool. No, I think it played in perfectly with the division that we were talking about. I want to make sure that we hit on some of the points in the State of the Union, and I think Sean brought it up. There was at one point when Trump was talking about the People's House, right? They were talking about all the monuments in Washington, D.C., and how the Capitol was a monument to the people and so forth. I mean, at one point there was a representative, and I think you brought it up, BZ, where this representative wanted to stand on the Democrat side and clap for something, and Nancy Pelosi was sitting next to him.
There's a video. There is a video where the guy is sitting to the, let's see, that would be to Nancy Pelosi's immediate left. Immediate left. And something is happening, a point in which you can see everybody around is standing and applauding. This guy sitting directly next to San Fran Nan starts to get up, starts to put hands together. You can see her look up at him, towards him. Mm-hmm. He looks down at her, and he sits down.
Well, even Chuck Schumer was applauding on certain things, and Nancy was not. And he was sitting up behind Nancy, so she couldn't see him.
And it's Chuck Schumer. He doesn't give a shit what Nancy says.
I understand that to a point.
Okay,
but
Mike in chat says that was Joe Manchin.
Was that Joe Manchin?
That's what he said, so that very well could be. And just like you mentioned earlier, if that was Joe Manchin, Joe Manson, father of Charles Manson, could be in really deep kimchi right now.
Well, very, very deep kimchi. Because there's nothing worse than having like an angry lunch lady mad at you, and that's
and especially an angry lunch lady who's just flirts with her words.
But isn't that ridiculous? Yes. That one representative can scold or look at or force another representative to sit down when the president of the United States brings something up that's positive.
Here's my biggest problem with Congress right now, and I think people everywhere agree with this. There's too many subsections within Congress. There are too many caucuses. There are too many small groups.
There are too many caucuses in Congress.
You mean the Congress whose approval rating is
like
7%?
Yet how the hell do they keep getting reelected?
Right, because
how do they keep getting? If they were really at 7%,
the two parties buy it.
The
two parties buy it. The two parties buy it.
Should we talk about approval ratings?
No. Let's finish State of the Union.
I know, but this has a direct correlation.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
The approval rating from CBS News, a poll taken from the State of the Union via CBS, another alphabet agency, CBS, CNN, blah, blah, blah.
FBI.
The poll came out 75% approval rating
for the State of the Union.
For the State of the Union speech.
Okay. And if that's CBS's poll, I wonder what the real numbers are.
So it's really like 83, 84%.
Here's
yeah,
another
that
reflection.
approval,
Yeah,
absolutely.
here's another reflection. Today I listened to Michael
Savage,
Medved,
and Michael Medved hates Trump
with a passion.
He's another Bill Crystal with regard to Trump.
Yeah, a lot of the people are.
And Bill Crystal's a fuckhead. Bill, if you're listening, you're a fuckhead. Anyway, even Michael Medved.
Hang on. Did BZ just declare ideological war
on
Bill
Crystal? I'm going to go add him to the list.
Interesting.
Maybe. Even Michael Medved said that was Trump's best speech. When you've got Michael Medved saying that
put him in
the
red.
speech was great, then you actually must have had a good speech. Now, we're talking about approval ratings. Congress, 7%. What's the approval rating of Donald Trump these days? It varies in the past month between 43 and 45%. Okay. What's the approval rating of the president of Mexico? Oh, lower than Donald Trump. What's the approval rating of Congress? Lower than Donald Trump. What's the approval rating of Justin Trudeau in Canada? Lower than Donald Trump. What's the approval rating of Emmanuel Macron in France? Lower than Donald Trump. What's the approval rating of Angela Merkel in Germany? Lower than Donald Trump. I think I see a theme here.
It's weird.
A theme. A running pattern, a theme. And it happens to be factual.
Did Billy Crystal say that? That sounds like a stripper name, by the way.
Billy Crystal?
Yeah.
Or a comedian's name. It sounds like a funny comedian.
Sounds like a funny stripper.
Funny stripper and comedian.
Bill Crystal has no sense of humor at all.
So here's the thing about Bill Crystal. Everyone remembers, didn't he work for Clinton? Didn't Bill Crystal work for Clinton at one point?
He used to write for the Weekly Standard.
Right.
Yes.
He used to be a conservative.
Even the Weekly Standard got rid of his ass.
Yes.
It's like John McCain. Okay, Bill, John, why don't you just do us all a favor and be truthful? Change your R to a D and be done with it. Then
stop trying to hijack the party.
Everybody
be honest.
Everybody knows you're both big D's anyways.
Right.
So
gigantic D's.
Huge D's.
Huge D's.
Yep.
Okay, I can't see it from here, but I'm going to have to go at the break. I'm going to have to go see
That's your ideological war.
That's a nuclear bomb with Bill Crystal's name on it.
Yeah, because you declared ideological war on
Yeah.
him, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
After the break, if I can find the tweet that Bill Crystal sent out, fucktard, I'm going to read it.
During the State of the Union?
No, it came out after the State of the Union. Oh, actually, remember the article that I was going to read when we come back for the break about the guy that was making fun of the train wreck with the GOP?
Right.
Yeah. Bill Crystal thought that would be a great, funny topic, too.
Well, that's something I just don't understand. And look.
Because that train wreck involving Republicans, that's a knee slapper.
It's a fucking riot. I think one of the things to remember, too, is anybody that's going against this president or going against the not going against the party a little bit on things is somebody you have to worry about. When they're like, oh, no, the party's fine. Look, Mitch McConnell, John McCain. I know McConnell's been a little bit more conservative because Trump's forced him to be. He saw what happened to Paul Ryan. That's really why Mitch McConnell's got more of a spine than he's ever had. He saw that Paul Ryan was almost destroyed and removed from Congress. That's what was going to happen. And he said, okay, I can't do that shit.
People realized, I think, how much pull Donald Trump has.
Well, I think, and I brought this up when
people are starting to realize.
So, two things has happened. Worst things in the world for Democrats. Number one, people in this country are waking up to the fact that he's not complete bullshit, and he's actually being progressing in his.
He's
ability.
making shit happen,
right? And number two. He's not a politician and doesn't really play politician games. And the politicians that hate him the most are the ones that can't control him. And number three, we are up against a break right here on the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network.
When we come back, I'd like to throw something Machiavellian out to you with regard to the State of the Union speech, and I'd like your input, both of you.
I absolutely would like to.
I'm down like 4 flat tires, BZ.
Hell yeah.
Any word from Guy Fieri yet?
No, but he's still
Media Network.
Cooking for conservatives.
Yeah.
Good evening. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is featured on the SHR Media Network every Tuesday and Thursday night for 2 hours at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific. Whilst manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ continues to radically change the world of leftists, one diaper at a time. Stop balancing your checkbooks. Stop cleaning your fish tanks. The bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is your magnet for truth, justice, obesity, a darkened studio, and late-night freedom. No United States of America freedoms were abridged in the making of this ad.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians, a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless, hope to the hopeless, clues to the clueless. Sackheads Sean, Sackheads Clint, and Sackheads BZ. The Sackheads Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern on shrmedia.com. Watch on YouTube, Facebook, and the High Plains Pundit Network. The best in late-night conservative talk. The Sackheads Radio Show, only on the SHR Media Network.
Go ahead, I'll say it again.
Some of the best A-roll is going to be B-roll.
Like, what are you talking about? The last question we cut a couple seconds. Yeah, I'm a freaking artist. I can't just come up with this shit off the top of my head. Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Good point. Exactly right. Oh,
God. Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
When dirty politicians, shadow governments, and deceptive Islam blind the world with fake stream media smoke, their only fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through shrmedia.com, highplainstalkradio.com, and the Western Free Radio Network at Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes for a different perspective weekly on the Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever,
because truth is not always pleasant.
This is Sam on SHR Media. You can listen to my new show starting on Tuesdays in January. Get my perspective on national politics, a conservative's perspective on California politics, the latest in the war on terror, all of that and a lot more here on Tuesdays at SHR Media. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Sam_SHR Media.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver Common Sense Show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell, no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hey, this is Sackhead Clint, and I'm with Sackhead Sean, Sackhead BZ. No communists allowed on the SHR Media Network.
Damn straight, mister.
Back to the show.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome back to the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Before we go on a break, we were talking about State of the Union. BZ had a comment to make. BZ, Go, sir.
You know, it's a good thing there aren't flies on the wall so people can hear what we say on the breaks, because there's a lot of imaginative stuff going on during the breaks that I think people would pay a price of admission to hear, because it gets kind of smoky and heated in here.
Sometimes
that's got to
during
be
the
bonus
breaks.
content. That's got to be bonus content.
Yeah, we should
charge
monetize
for
that for the bonus content
don't know
on
if
the
we
breaks.
want any of it out there.
I'm going to throw this out.
Good.
Our faces.
A lot of people think that the guy with the dead orange cat on his head is a bumbling boob.
Mm-hmm.
What about this? What if he's crazy like a fox? What if he's actually
I've been
smarter
saying that right along.
than anyone gives him credit for? And what I'm saying is this. He has managed in the space of 80 minutes, he has managed to place the Demorats in an almost untenable position. And what he did was this. He made a massive exposure of the Demorats for all to see physically, because you could see their reactions in the House as he gave the State of the Union speech, and you see their reactions to his content. What I mean by that is this. He said he is willing to give what would essentially be amnesty in like 10 to 12 years, give them the right to become citizens, to 3 times the amount of individuals that Obama proposed. That's 1.8 million people. Then he also said there have to be other pillars of that in concert, which would include there would be no chain migration.
Right.
There would be no lottery. That would have to go, and there will be a wall.
Right.
I hate it that he didn't include E-Verify. I'll talk about that later. But he threw out, I mean, if that wasn't the meatiest, chunkiest piece of chum that every Demorat should have jumped on board at, and yet, as far as the Demorats are concerned, you haven't even walked through the door yet.
No.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
If you can't entice the Demorats with 1.8 million illegals in the United States, and they're saying no to that?
You know what? In that case, screw you. I tried. Now we're going to do it this way.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Yep.
And I agree wholeheartedly.
Hey,
look.
fine. Hey, look. Yeah, you guys don't want to deal on that? Cool, no problem. Yeah, I'm dropping shit over here, Sean. Yeah, cool. We don't have to deal on that. I'm just gonna instruct my agencies and the agencies of the executive to vigorously enforce every law we have on the books
all the time,
right now,
24/7,
all of the time,
all the time.
That's the alternative, right? If the Democrats don't want to deal, the laws are already passed and there.
Yep. And why haven't we consistently been doing this? Even the Bushes. The Bushes are every bit at fault as anyone else. Even Reagan in 1986
they are.
created an amnesty, but we learn from no one. We learn from nothing. We have historical Alzheimer's. We didn't see what happened to the people from the amnesty in 1986, and we thought it's the definition of insanity. We didn't get it then. So I know, let's do the same shit today. Call it something else, and something different will happen. On the other hand, Trump outed the Demorats. He outed them completely. What else could he have given them? Which means they're not here to negotiate. They're not here to talk. Screw you. It's our way or the highway.
Well, I hope they have toll money.
So, was that Machiavellian? Mm-hmm. Was that what he was trying to do? Mm-hmm. I'm asking you guys.
I think so.
I absolutely agree wholeheartedly.
I think so. He is brilliant.
Yeah. I think he is. Look, he plays the press. He plays the polls. He plays the Democrats against themselves. He plays the Republicans against the Democrats. He absolutely knows how to F some people up, and he does it without throwing a punch. He absolutely. How many times news media in the last year?
And they all go, hey.
How many times have they been so close?
That was a visual.
Where they just jump on without even checking anything. They just get right onto it. Oh, bro, this much to happen. And then the stuff that they shit on him the most for, and we'll talk about the memo. But I think the memo is going to fix a lot of that. Moving on.
It's as if these folks exist only to be played.
Yes. And he knows it. He knows how to do it.
Because especially the American media maggots bite every damn time.
And so do the Democrats.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hello to Mary Brockman in chat.
Hello, Mary.
And hello to Dave Milner in chat. Simone is still here.
Simone, thank you.
Mike is still here.
Mike,
Thanks
you.
for being hangers-on.
Let's appreciate them and very much.
I will not call you boogers.
Let's talk about the train.
Boogers hang on, too. Well, what happened with that train, Sean?
So there was a train carrying Republican lawmakers to a retreat that crashed into what they're saying was either a garbage truck or a sanitation truck. Amtrak train carrying Republican lawmakers to their annual retreat in Virginia struck a truck, killing one of its passengers. The other two passengers were injured, one of them seriously, and taken to the hospital. 2 members of the train crew and at least 2 passengers, including Representative Jason Lewis of Minnesota, were also taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The crash occurred at 11:20 a.m., about 10 miles northwest of Charlottesville. By early afternoon, the train was back on its way to Charlottesville, where buses were waiting to finish the trip. The deceased passenger is identified as Christopher Foley, 28, of Louisa County, Virginia. The NTSB is investigating the crash. The train was chartered by the Republicans to go to Greenbrier Resort in West Virginia, where they hold its annual meeting for the Republican Party to discuss their policy.
Excuse me. Now, you remember I was talking earlier before the break about Bill Kristol and his stupid tweet. And I thought, okay, during the break, I'm going to find it. I found it.
Ooh.
And it's at Bill Kristol, which is why I called him a fucktard. And I'll tell you why after. Because at first blush, like you said, Clint, well, that doesn't sound so bad with this caveat. What he said was, in Twitter, once we're sure everyone involved is okay, assuming they are, I hereby give permission to Twitter to indulge in all manner of GOP train wreck jokes. I do think that by having the train hit, yes, a garbage truck, the scriptwriters of 2018 jumped the shark. Okay, Bill Kristol,
a man died.
Why did you have to write that? Yes, a man died. And you could not see that perhaps, assuming everyone is okay, that's a rather large leap to make when initially you have no damn idea. So now in retrospect, fucktard, it looks like you're making fun of the GOP, of the dead, and conservatives as well. So you're not pointing your finger, really, at the GOP so much as you're pointing your finger at the GOP for having supported Trump because you can't stand his ass.
Yes.
So, Bill Kristol, how about you take a big cup of shut the fuck up and get the fuck off of Twitter, fucktard. Love, BZ.
Well, and here's the absolute amazing part about Bill Kristol. People forget he's supposed to be a conservative. Look, first and foremost, Bill Kristol's been around media for a long time.
I haven't seen too much of him lately.
Not much. Not often a train hits a vehicle and there's not a major injury involved.
Well, not only that, but even if everybody was fine, do you think that's a traumatic event?
Yeah, for the people involved.
Do you think that's something that we should be celebrating or something that's funny to...
Little Billy wasn't the only person that happened to weigh in on that, okay? So photos go out, right, on Twitter, on social media, and anybody can go into Facebook and Twitter and see that this is a badass accident, and the photos were available within 15 minutes to a half hour. So, Billy, you couldn't wait to see what was going on with Twitter. No, you had to make your statement right then
had
and
to
there.
be quickly relevant.
Because nothing is fucking more funny than a head-on collision between a train and a truck.
Yep.
But when you're
Damn, that's a knee slapper.
When you're trying to get attention and you fall into the bottom of the pit and you're going to do anything you can, these idiots will take that chance in order to get, hey, you know what? I'm a Republican and I made fun of the GOP in the train crash here, so I'm kind of funny. Hopefully nobody got hurt. Oh, somebody died. Back down to the bottom, Bill.
Yeah, okay, so here's a CNN contributor, right? A guy named Keith Boykin, who thought that he'd make a real low-hanging metaphorical kind of joke. Wow, this is really funny crap. A train carrying Republican members of Congress hits a truck near Charlottesville, he wrote. Or is this a metaphor for American politics today? Wow, that was brain-glazingly insightful, wasn't it? We learned so much from that. Then there was this guy named Jonathan Tassini, and he writes this tweet.
This is horrific.
This is a grand thing to say. This is wonderful. God bless him, and God bless Twitter. Wow. Between train full of goopers, hitting truck, and this, God is working hard today to clean up the stink. Thank her. Following up with that came...
Now that tweet had a ton of, like, even other journalists were... one other journalist, I forget who it was, said, you may want to think before you tweet something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it had a ton of negative feedback to where that tweet was actually pulled down.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, would it surprise either one of you gentlemen that Bill Kristol deleted that tweet? But if you're someone like Bill Kristol, you should realize that shit lives forever.
Yes.
And that there are screen captures of that crap.
Yep.
And that's how I found it.
But it's electronics.
And that guy... Jonathan Tassini, he deleted that tweet too, but
Yes.
look, it's there, right there in front of me, and so is Bill Kristol's tweet.
How long?
I didn't see that.
How long until Twitter? Because people, particularly the left, does and says a bunch of stupid shit on Twitter. How long before Twitter comes up with a way to, even if you capture something, there is something embedded to where it just deletes it from everything?
You'll never be able to do it.
No, because
there's too much separation.
It's fucking technology. What the hell? I don't know.
But there are also
sounds good.
There are clipping tools already in Windows, and then there's also a whole bunch of programs that will do screen captures, no matter what's on it. And there's also another program that I use called Snagit.
Yep.
They got facial recognition. Why don't they have image recognition? Like, I recognize this pattern, and we're just deleting the shit out of everything that has that pattern.
Right? So that could happen very, very easily. If they have this identified photo and they're like, we don't like this anymore, they'll be able to set an algorithm that matches that photo. It says anytime this gets posted,
like the one of Obama and
Louis
Farrakhan.
Holy shit!
Yeah. The likes of which Alan Dershowitz said. Well, first
I would never have voted.
If you remember, Alan Dershowitz said, if Keith Ellison gets in to become head of the DNC, I'm quitting the Demorat Party.
Yes.
Then he said, like you said, Clint, if I'd known that a photo of Obama was with Louis Farrakhan, I would never have voted for Obama.
Yeah, and the photographer was asked to keep it under wraps.
Yes, why?
Oh,
that's so weird.
Because he never would have been elected.
Why would?
And why the fuck did he keep it under wraps?
Well, and that picture was taken just a year.
That's
right.
Just
that picture was
innocent.
taken a year previous to the election.
Yes,
that's the amazing part. It wasn't like 15 years earlier.
No. Exactly.
It wasn't
Jeremiah Wright era.
Right.
It wasn't Ayers era.
He'd already known he was going to be running.
It wasn't Bill Ayers' living room, so to speak. Then this tweet came out from Trey Gowdy today. There is a time to come and a time to go. This is the right time for me to leave politics and return to the justice system. Full statement here.
Return to where?
The justice system.
Now that
The
is
Justice
very
League?
interesting.
Trey Gowdy's going back to the Justice League with Batman?
No.
Oh.
That was Superman.
Basically, what it means, he's gone. He's a minimum of 3 terms. He may be a 4-termer. I'm not sure. But essentially,
3.
what he says is, when his term runs out, he's not going to seek re-election.
And this is interesting, and we've talked about this, but I do want to say before, I'm not trying to showbiz BZ here because I'm going to let you get to it. But you and I have talked ad nauseum about how much we admire Trey Gowdy, particularly when he had the Benghazi hearings.
As do I, you bet.
And what a freaking animal he is, and what a pit bull. And we both said, I want a guy like that.
AG.
On something that needs to be attacked.
Something with teeth.
Because that guy's a pit bull.
Something with teeth, and I've said that. Go ahead.
I would love to have seen one of 2 people that immediately come to mind for AG. Jeff Sessions leaves me tepid.
I think he's on his way out.
I would love to have seen Trey Gowdy, of course.
Yep.
I would even
would fit with his tweet of getting back into justice, right?
With Giuliani. Now, let me ask you guys this too. When you have time on your hands, do you ever go to YouTube? And
when do I have time on my hands?
Well, okay. I used to go to YouTube and just look for Jason Chaffetz cuts where Jason Chaffetz lights up somebody that he's talking to in various committees.
I like Chaffetz very much.
Because he skewers people left and right. And I also love going for Trey Gowdy videos where he slashes, hacks, cuts, lacerates, parries, uppercuts people with logic and common sense and facts, and just a hint of sarcasm.
My favorite part of Trey Gowdy is when somebody tries to school him on law and constitution.
Don't you ever...
and he lets them... And if you watch it, you can watch him set people up, and they give the answer, and he does the head shake. And then he'll go, well, now, ma'am, that brings me to the point that you said on September 22nd in 2015... Did you think the Fourth Amendment was a beer placed in downtown Charlottesville, ma'am? Because that's very different than what you just testified. And they're like, you could see the look of destruction. Because as soon as he says, that's funny, sir, because you're like, oh, you're fucked. Dude, just get up and walk out. Like, I feel bad for you now because Trey's about to destroy you. And he is. He's absolutely brilliant. He is absolutely brilliant. And it's going to be, it's sad. Look, I think there's certain people that know that they're going to be more effective outside of it. Look at Chaffetz. I think Jason Chaffetz is going to become a senator and or he's running for a different, he might state governor maybe. He left a couple years early, just resigned. He's on Fox right now. He's making the rounds. He's keeping himself prevalent in the conservative community. I think you're going to see him start running for something soon. Same thing with Trey Gowdy. I think Trey Gowdy...
Wouldn't be surprised.
...is almost earmarked...
I want Trey Gowdy for president.
For an important... I would vote for Trey Gowdy.
I would vote for president.
Him in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Now, but what did we discuss, though? We discussed other machinations. We said, hey, Trey Gowdy for, IG, right?
Now,
Clint, you said Trey Gowdy for... AG.
Yep.
And Sean, what did you say?
Independent counsel.
Independent counsel for what, pray tell?
For the investigation that's going to come out of this memo when the memo finally drops.
Do you see how I set you guys up for the transition?
What? Folks, have you ever seen a triple play? You just saw the triple killing right here on the
look, it's
around the horn.
It's no big deal. I don't know if you guys really recognize it, so we're going to take a moment to point it out.
Hello, calling. Hello. Yes. Ring, ring. Is Captain Obvious there, please? Can I talk to him, please?
Dude, nailed it.
For those of you who were born after the year 2000, what BZ was doing was dialing a telephone.
That was the answer you
were
looking for.
Telephone.
On old age bingo that you could play at home, the answer was dialing a telephone.
Dialing a telephone.
Okay.
And you could I don't know if you could see his hand gestures.
Guilty.
But he wasn't punching a push button telephone. So for those of you born after the year 1978,
I was going
it was a rotary dial telephone.
Yes.
A what?
The password is rotary dial telephone. And if you got that reference, then you're as old as us. Congratulations.
And we'll go back even further, prior to the 50s. If you said a location and or suburb and or city, and then a number in 4 digits.
Oh, listen, I still remember my parents' phone number.
New York 1485, please.
Yes.
My parents' phone number was Ivanhoe.
Yep.
95253.
Yep.
My grandma's phone number in downtown Sacramento was Gladstone 55483.
See?
She lived in an older house that my grandfather originally owned. Do you know where the big DMV building is?
Yes.
Originally,
on Broadway?
My grandfather and great-grandfather owned all that land.
No.
And where my parents lived was 2526 27th Street. They chose that number so the kids could remember their address.
Oh,
That's
wow.
pretty funny.
That's
That
how
is.
long ago.
So they got to choose their
when you
numbers.
when you go choosing your address.
That's awesome.
Pretty
Now,
awesome.
now, first of all, I thought what your grandmother's original telephone number, that wasn't her original one, right? Her
No,
original
that
one.
was the only one that I
Her
remember.
original one was right?
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm not mistaken, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
My grandma's phone was a combat telephone. I can distinctly remember it. It was one of those
Bag phones?
45. It was a 45-pound Bakelite telephone that you picked it up, and honest to God, it was a combat. If you'd hit anybody with that telephone, it weighed probably a good 10 pounds, made of Bakelite, and the cord from the unit itself
Braided.
to the handset was the braided fabric cord.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
I
isn't
have
it?
one of those at home.
I don't doubt it.
I actually paid to have it. It's identical to Grandma's phone.
See, and I can tell you that my grandparents were Maplewood 28903.
Isn't that crazy? What kind of crazy stuff we remember?
All right, so I got a story for you guys.
Go ahead.
I want to.
I got 5 minutes. I got a story.
Go 5 minutes.
I wanna
Go
hear it.
story
I know you
time.
guys hate my stories.
No. I love them. I love you.
So I have
So he's throwing rocks at hookers, right?
at my. It's a great story.
It's a great story.
It's never gets old. So I actually have at my place of employment an old school telephone. It is just a regular telephone with the handle.
I already know this story. Here you go, because this is a brilliant story.
It's like handset, push button, like regular telephone. And so, anyways, I'm carrying this telephone through the halls of where I work with one hand, and I have the receiver to my head at the other hand, and I'm walking through the halls, and I'm in a certain position where people trust me.
You're in a supervisory role.
I am a leader in my particular organization, right? And so people are kind of looking up to me, and I am with a dead stone walking the halls, having a full-on discussion with this telephone while I'm holding it, just walking around.
Cord.
And people are looking at me. They don't know whether to shit or wind their watch.
Right, one guy did shit on his watch.
Right. And they're like, "What the hell?" And so I go to a younger guy who's in there, and he's doing some work on a computer, and he's kind of looking at side eyeing me, right? Like,
if I don't look at him, he won't look at me.
Right, and like, what is he doing? I don't know. And I was like, yeah, he's right here. He's actually. Oh, you want to talk to him? Yeah, hang on a second. Hey, it's for you, real quick. And no shit, the guy grabs the phone receiver, holds it up to his ear, and says, "Hello."
Yeah.
And I look at him, and he says, "Hello." And he looks at me, and he goes, "Sir, there's no one here."
And you said, "Are you sure?"
Did you speak up into it?
I said, "What do you mean there's no one there?" Like, dead serious. And he's looking like he thinks he's about to get yelled at, like hit with a phone book, something.
Dude.
And then,
would you hang up on him?
And then some of the older guys who know me are there, and they start losing it,
laughing.
They laugh, and I grab my phone back and laugh, and it was absolutely classic.
The look on his face must have been immense.
Now, another thing I did, I took that receiver, I disconnected it from the body of the phone.
That's going to be your second book, by the way. Another thing I did.
I took the receiver. I tucked it in my pocket, so it was like going into my pocket, and I literally hung the receiver on the side of my belt.
Yeah, like it was a butt set.
This is a true story. I walk out to my office, and there's some folks in the lobby needing help, and I'm sitting there like pretending I'm going through some stuff, and I pick up the phone receiver and I say, "Hello." Yeah, I'm up at the front of the office right now, and I start. And I start having a full conversation.
Holy shit. Oh, my favorite part about that's the obvious discomfort on their faces that we don't even need to describe right now.
Yeah.
Because everyone here can see it and feel how weird and uncomfortable that was.
Okay, I like Clint stories.
No,
I
love Clint
I
stories.
like Clint stories.
I've always liked Clint stories. Even when they're a little crazy.
Now, hang on a second. And Sean, and all I'm going to say, BZ, I can't give you more information than this. I'm just going to say this, and you're just going to have to experience it.
I can't give you more information.
Sean,
okay.
Yes.
I have in my possession, not tonight, but in my possession in general, that I'm going to bring to the show, particularly now that we are on camera, a certain set of glasses.
Hallelujah. I nothing more should be said.
Okay.
All right.
There are tons of stories that go with said glasses, and that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
All right. I'll wait.
Okay.
I'll wait.
Folks, we're up against the break here on the Sackheads Radio
We are.
Show. When we come back, the infamous memo. Oh, God. The infamous memo and more.
Let's talk about coffee in those glasses.
FBI, memo, important things coming down the line, and some no glasses. We're not talking about the glasses until they show up right here on the Sackheads Radio Show.
Media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American maggots won't. BZ is fundamentally changing America one diaper at a time. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, where the speech is free, but the drinks are not. The Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night, commencing at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, where pushback is a requisite art form in and of itself. Let your ossicles be truly liberated when you listen to the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, only on SHR Media Network. No ferrets were harmed in the making of this ad.
When dirty politicians, shadow governments, and deceptive Islam blind the world with fake stream media smoke, their only fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through shrmedia.com, highplanestalkradio.com, and the Western Free Radio Network at Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes for a different perspective weekly on the Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver Common Sense Show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians, a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless, hope to the hopeless, clues to the clueless. Sackheads Sean, Sackheads Clint, and Sackheads BZ. The Sackheads Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern on shrmedia.com. Watch on YouTube, Facebook, and the High Plains Pundit Network. The best in late-night conservative talk, the Sackheads Radio Show, only on the SHR Media Network.
Go ahead, I'll say it.
Some of the best A-roll is going to be evil.
Like, what are you talking about? The last question really cut a couple seconds. Yeah, I'm a freaking artist. I can't just come up with this shit off the top of my head. Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Good point. Exactly right.
Hey, this is Sackhead Clint, and I'm with Sackhead Sean, Sackhead BZ. No communists allowed on the SHR Media Network.
Damn straight, mister.
Back to the show.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome back to the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. Thank you so much for joining us for part 4 on this 31st of January 2718. 2718. We're coming to you from the future. The future. Anywho. Hey, so there's some supposed to memo that everyone's saying is probably going to be released tomorrow. The infamous FISA memo that we've all heard so much about was approved by the House of Representatives 2 days ago for release. The president was heard over saying last night at the end of the State of the Union, when somebody asked about the memo, he said, "Yep, it's going to happen," or something to that effect. 100%.
What he said, somebody said, "Hey, blah blah blah," the memo, and he said he was heard to say, and it was caught on a hot mic, "What's the chance of that happening?" And he said 100%.
Yeah, that was it. Either way, he intimated that it's definitely going. Obviously, it's going to be a redacted memo. It's cut down to about 4 pages. They've removed a bunch of legitimate, as they say, classified information. They're giving us what is able to be released, which says 2 things. There's a shitload more in there we can't see because of the classification.
Yep.
And if only 4 pages of pseudo-redacted information is going to be enough to potentially curl the toes of society, so to speak, what is in the rest of it? How big is this memo? Where does this memo go? What is it? We all know it has something to do with Russia, right? We've had enough leaked out. Russia, the dossier, collusion, and prominent Democrats.
Let's talk about the facts, though. The facts are
go for it.
That apparently Pelosi, I don't know if you heard the cut, Pelosi excoriated the crap out of Chris Cuomo on CNN when he asked her about it, and she said it's terrible, and something similar to, "I'm surprised you're asking me about that at all. You, of all people, should know better."
Right.
Democrats to a supporter, CNN, of Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
But I asked the question, has Nancy Pelosi actually seen the memo?
Seen or admit to seeing? 2 different things.
Well, now, she has not admitted to seeing the memo, but you and I both know about this. GOP members were encouraged to go over and see it. It's not something that you can have sent to you. You have to go into what is called a SCIF, a secure compartmented informational facility. It's a secure compartment where you go to read things
it's
like
this.
this.
It's like the cone of silence.
It's not dissimilar. And when you go read it, you have to sign in. You have to sign your name.
Right.
I was here. I read it. Many GOP members did.
Yeah, a lot have.
How many Demorats?
0.
Thank you.
Hang on. Carry the 1.
Carry the 1.
0.
Moving the abacus. Sibilance.
Why?
Sibilance.
Because they don't want to know. They already know.
Thank you.
Right.
They already
well, you
know.
already know the answer. We talked about this last week when the memo first dropped. Look, when you have all the Republicans saying, "Hey, we got to do something with this," and all the Democrats going, "Yeah, no, we don't," that tells you right away where it goes. This is going to be destructive to the Democrats at their core. The progressive Democrats specifically, I think, more so than the traditional style Democrats. I think there's going to be some progressive lunatic Democrats. Jason Ellison, people like that, I think.
I want to know how many are going to go to jail.
I want to know how many are going to resign, how many are going to go to jail. I want to know where this memo leads up to. Look, I have a feeling it's going to be Comey or McCabe. And...
Well, so interesting thing on McCabe real quick, and I want to know if Trey Gowdy ties into this at all.
Well, I don't. So
special counsel,
hang on.
like you said.
I have a story about that.
You have a story about McCabe?
No, about Trey Gowdy.
Oh.
Here's something from Breitbart. It said Trey Gowdy, specifically. Now, he's naming names. In this article, the headline is, Trey Gowdy, FISA memo will be embarrassing to Adam Schiff.
Yes.
Specifically.
California Democrat.
Now, what happened to Adam Schiff today? He came out and vehemently said that to release this memo would compromise security in the United States.
Compromise
he
it.
He didn't come out and say
Bullshit.
that before, but now that the pressure is on, he's saying that.
We can't
Trey
have this.
Gowdy already made this statement. Now, there's a whole bunch of articles that I've set up here. Here's another one. Now, you tell me what you think about this. McCabe, by the way, whose wife sent $175,000 plus to the governor of Virginia for his campaign, she wrote a check for that, cut checks to that, and that's McCabe's
He's a Republican,
wife.
right?
Oh, he's
the governor's a Republican.
Demorats.
Oh,
the governor
shit. Didn't
of
see that
Virginia
coming.
is a Democrat.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Demorat.
sure.
Big
And,
rat.
and then
Big
here's
rat.
the other thing. Comey came to the
Big ol'
immediate
rat.
conclusion that there was no conflict of interest between McCabe, that situation, and the FBI. Now, that having been said, a little background. Here's another story. FBI's McCabe, 2 days ago. Now stepping down, suspected in leak against White House.
What?
Now, he was to retire in about, 2 months or so.
Right.
Now, somebody seems to have turned the gas hard to the right, and now the blue flames seem to be tickling his arse hairs.
Hey, how much vacation do I have all of a sudden? About 2 months.
But
See
I have
ya.
to say, that's a coincidence. This is total coinkydink.
Do you think so?
What do you think if I were to suggest that it's possibly McCabe's name and Rosenstein's name on the affidavit that was submitted, the dossier to a FISA court to acquire a wiretap, like Trump said, it's actually surveillance, but he called it a wiretap in his tweet,
Same
if
thing.
you remember.
Yep, I
it's
remember.
essentially the
Wiretap.
same thing.
It is the exact
To
same thing.
surveil a campaign, a presidential campaign,
Presidential campaign.
by opposing forces, and now you're using the full force of the
federal-
United States government behind you to essentially get oppo research on an opposing candidate, someone opposing Hillary Clinton, the Demorat.
Do you remember, though, everyone being upset about the potential hacking of the voting terminals? This is hacking of the election.
Do you remember people being upset about some lost White House tapes a few minutes?
Yeah, a couple.
Does anyone remember anyone being upset when the Department of Homeland Security tapped into the voting machines of then Governor Pence of Indiana?
Yes.
That's the United States government interfering in elections right there. Then, does anyone remember Obama having sent, under the guise of
Yes.
another group, money to oppose Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel? We must remember the U.S. government does not interfere with elections, right?
Ours or other?
Either.
Ours or overseas?
Right,
Look-
and they would not interfere in a presidential candidate, would they?
Never.
Here's the big story, in my opinion, and one that's missed, and one that people, I don't know if they're just too asleep to, if they're just too asleep to kind of read into it or understand it. I don't think that's that they're stupid. I think it's that they're lazy or don't pay attention. Nobody seems to have a problem.
Oh, I thought you were waiting for one of us to argue
No.
with you. I was like, no, you're 100% right,
No.
dude.
Okay, I'm with it
nobody,
so far.
Nobody seems to have a problem or recognize the fact that the federal government, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Department of Justice, if this is true, would have been complicit in attempting to overthrow or continue after the election to overthrow a duly elected president of the United States, or beforehand meddling with an election and dictating or attempting to steer the outcome or sway the outcome of an election and essentially spying on another United States citizen.
That was duly elected president, and maybe receiving information that the wiretaps aren't, whoever's listening to those taps aren't authorized to be listening to, because he was getting daily briefings after the election.
He was, but not only that, but hang on, let me finish real quick, and then I'll turn it over to you. Sorry, Sean.
No, that's all right.
But if you have if the president of the United States or anybody in the federal government, let's say the FBI was rogue, the fact that you have any taxpayer-funded government institution attempting to steer and influence the outcome of an election.
Let's call it what it is: to attempt to overthrow a government.
It's or stifle the free elections of that government, right? Even if they're not attempting to overthrow it because the Democrats had power, and if the FBI was used so that they could keep power, or if the FBI was used so that a certain candidate got elected, folks, does anybody see a problem with that?
That's what a banana republic does.
That is
worse
a
than a banana
huge-
republic. Look at
That's like, oh, look, Putin won with 105% of the vote.
125% of the vote.
That.
So you have, before the election, you have election tampering, right? As they were saying coming out, hey, this is stuff that you saw in communist Russia that's happening right now.
Yeah.
And you're hearing that from Republicans as they've read it. Hey, I couldn't believe that something like this would happen in my country. I didn't want to read this memo because I didn't want it to be true. Things like that. You have, before an election, the tampering, the destruction of one of the greatest individual rights we have as citizens, the right to elect our own leaders freely, being tampered with. And then post-election, should it have continued, they're trying to find a way to make him ineligible and remove him, and not, which I believe is going to be the case. I believe they were trying to find a way, even after Election Day, to say, no, he cannot be installed.
The surveillance occurred pre-election,
yes,
of himself and everyone in the campaign. It occurred during the election, and I'll wager it continued
after the election.
Look,
if this is true, if this is found to be true,
But hold on, because I
yeah.
just want to finish my thought on, if that happens after the election and they're still up to the last minute trying to find a way to make him ineligible to be installed in office, and if it's a big enough thing, what are they going to do? All right, well, we're going to hold off on the transition of power until we know exactly what's going on. Supreme Court's, Obama's going to stay in power for now. We're suspending everything. The possibilities were there. What do you call that? Oh, I don't know.
Constitutional crisis.
How many times did
is it
Obama?
A coup? A non-military coup when you're trying to overtake the
I
government?
think once Trump would have been sworn in, or after the date where he was supposed to have been sworn in, if that were to be attempted and there was a coordinated effort to remove him or overthrow him from power,
which there was, it sounds like.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially. Then, yeah. And if that turns out to be true, I think the FBI should be immediately defunded.
Disbanded.
Immediately defunded and torn down as an agency.
Yep.
Like, as a whole, look, I'm sorry, there are how many other federal law enforcement agencies that I'm pretty sure could fucking handle some slack
Well,
on
and
that.
let's be realistic. That mark will never go away as the one person in the department, or the one agency in the Department of Justice, not the one, but one of the agencies, the Department of Justice, who's supposed to be protecting the infrastructure of this country, the well-being of this country, protect and uphold the Constitution, was used to try to overthrow and create a coup. You have to destroy that agency.
Look, I think that agency, I think Congress would have to immediately defund the agency. I think the President of the United States, it's a freaking Department of the Executive, right? Get rid of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. There is no FBI. The FBI ceases to exist.
Wait,
sorry.
It's part of the executive, so how is it that... Oh, yeah, that's how the last president or somebody in power would have had the ability to direct them to do certain things.
Let me throw...
Maybe, unless they went rogue, which is an even bigger problem.
Right.
Let me throw 4 stories out at you.
It's 7 years ago.
Apparent, conflicting stories, and you tell me how you would reconcile these.
Go ahead.
We already know that Trey Gowdy made the statement that when the memo gets out, it's going to be very bad, specifically naming Adam Schiff. Today, Adam Schiff says top House Intel Dem accuses Devin Nunes of altering the memo sent to the White House. Now, that's Adam Schiff making that statement.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it that someone would be incredibly sufficiently stupid to alter that particular memo?
Yes.
Having an original copy and then saying, oh, you know what, I think I'll clean this and spiff this up a little bit, then I'll send it to the White House. So, okay, reconcile that. My reconciliation is that Adam Schiff is scared shitless.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now let me reconcile this, too. After the House
Shiftless.
voted that they were going to do that, here's, let's see, a story from... okay, here's a story. FBI. Now, listen to who makes this statement, because now you're going to see 2 definite conflicting stories, one coming out today about Christopher Wray. Yesterday, this story came out. FBI officials, all right, and in the story it says agents, line-level agents who are familiar with this type of information. But essentially it said FBI officials review surveillance memo, could not cite any factual inaccuracies, say sources. Okay, now those are line-level agents. Now that we've heard, especially after last night, Trump saying sotto voce, 100% chance that memo is going to be coming out today, Christopher Wray, director of the FBI, goes and says FBI, under the guise of Christopher Wray, says it has grave concerns about the accuracy of Nunes' memo. Now, that's the headline, but if you read the text says, the FBI said Wednesday it has grave concerns about the classified memo put together by Republicans on the House Intelligence Committee and said it includes material omissions of fact. The FBI was provided a limited opportunity to review this memo the day before the committee voted to release it, the agency said Wednesday. As expressed during our initial review, we have grave concerns about material omissions of fact that fundamentally impact the memo's accuracy. Okay, question. I had a traffic accident. The CHP came. In the process of writing up the traffic accident, a fact was omitted from that traffic report. I had 3 bags of groceries in the back seat. That's a fact
that was not
that was omitted,
but not part of the accident.
But it wasn't
Pertinent.
germane to the incident.
Or Tito.
The goddamn Germans got nothing to do with this.
You see where I'm going with this. So why today did Christopher Wray, when he had a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months,
knew about it a long time
to
ago.
make an objection to this memo, because people even back then were saying, hashtag release the memo, that's called a clue. So am I completely stupid to think that none of the FBI they read and they know about, or anybody goes pss, pss, pss,
Here's why.
about social media? No, of course not.
There are people in this country, specifically in D.C. inside the Beltway, who think at some point, oh, you know what? They won't release that because that's too much like bad stuff for the government. It's going to hurt the government's feelings. So it's going to
Trump doesn't give a shit.
It's going to be old school,
He's
right?
like,
Just
hey.
like we're always going to take care of glad handing each other. We're always going to take care of ourselves. We're good to go, right, guys? High five. Oh shit! The Republicans approved that.
Yeah, the House committee.
Yeah.
said-
So where's that going now? Oh shit! It's going to Trump.
No.
Trump will never do it. He's a traditional politician.
They're already done. That's why this came out. They know. Oh, shit, we have to get out ahead of it. Well, we don't want to release this. They're going to try to pressure him all the way. And I guarantee you the ridiculous factoids that have nothing to do with the case but look icky and maybe look icky against Trump and will be the ones that are played over and over and over again. Right? The reality and the fact that, like Clint said, we had either a rogue agency or a directed agency investigating a potential candidate. And if it went on after the election, the president-elect, in an attempt to try to smear, dissuade, and or destroy the election, will be ignored by the mainstream media maggots.
And you know what? If I'm running for re-election and I'm Donald Trump, I will be playing this over and over and over and over and over again in my re-election campaign.
Now, you tell me what part of this statement by Devin Nunes is in any way equivocal at all. He made this particular statement. In response, Nunes said top officials at the Justice Department and the FBI, okay, stop. 2 separate departments working in concert hold that thought.
Mm-hmm. Where has that ever happened before?
Justice Department and FBI used unverified information in a court document to fuel a counterintelligence investigation during an American political campaign. I don't know. To me, that sounds pretty succinct.
Yeah.
And then Trey Gowdy names names.
Weird.
And then shitters all throughout D.C. are clogging up, and people are asking for plungers. Can you find me a plunger? And all through the day today, because of Trump's statement last night, people are going, shh, 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 shh. Bush.
That's a rotary dial.
That's a rotary telephone, ladies.
And
That's a
calling
rotary dial
attorneys
telephone.
because they're going to need a lot of attorneys.
Well, how many people left
very
the country?
shortly?
Well, so
or leaving the country,
so
or trying to leave the country.
Is Trey Gowdy going to be a special prosecutor? If he is, God help them. Is the DOJ going to do their job? So many what ifs. But if that's the case and nothing gets done, what then?
I submit to you.
That is a scary, scary thought. And I want that to hang over the people, that we don't have to answer that. You can if you want, of course, but that's kind of the big conundrum, right? If it comes out that the FBI, the federal government, whoever
Democrats
directed this activity, and nothing is done.
Wait, let me put this in context.
I want him to finish this thought because it's a good question to ask.
If nothing is done, if there's another fucking investigation,
yes,
just like there was with Hillary, and nothing is done again because nothing is ever effing done, what then?
What do we do? Where do we go? What do we do as a nation?
What does that mean for our country?
Why wasn't there an independent counsel? The left loves independent counsels for things like this. Why wasn't there?
What if there is an independent counsel and nothing is still done?
But
what
we
if they submit?
What
if they submit and Congress fails to approve articles of impeach,
whatever,
or
if articles of impeach even apply,
right? Or charges don't get filed, or what then?
How many times
Four
are you
words.
going to let this?
Go ahead, BC.
4 words. The country is done.
Well, and at what point does the complacency have to go away? At what point do people have to put down their cheeseburgers and turn off the View? and turn off this
At what point
shit?
do we actually foment civil insurrection?
Well,
I hate to say
Constitutional Convention right away.
I don't think civil insurrection. Period.
At what point do people become so irate that something very serious occurs?
So here's if we're going to go down that road.
I have a question there. I have a response for that when you're done.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sean.
No, that's fine. Just
I think here. Look, insurrection, absolutely not. I'm not for armed insurrection. Now,
Civil
will there
strife.
be? Will there be? No, because I call the left out when they do that shit too. If a government entity, i.e. a state, were to secede, I believe states maintain the right to secede because it's framed in the Declaration of Independence, and I know leftists are going to lose their fucking mind. But look, California right now is talking about we're leaving the Union.
They already want that.
Look, I think California can do it. I said Texas can do it when Obama was in office. I'm going to say California can do it when Trump is in office. I'm not
legally they can do it.
I think so.
Right.
I think Jefferson Davis lays out one hell of a case in his book. If you've ever read his book. Great book where he lays out the case. He was an attorney, and he makes some very valid arguments. The Declaration of Independence itself talks about when the bonds of government become too much. Basically, we have a right and a duty to cast that off and establish new ones. So there's plenty of evidence to show that it is possible to do that, and I think legal to do that. Now, that being said, if a state were to secede and the federal government attempted to keep them, I don't think that's insurrection. It's civil war, but I think it is a state attempting to establish new government for their own purposes because whatever government they were a part of, they find to be too tyrannical, whatever it is. But just armed insurrection in and of itself, I do not think is okay. And don't get me wrong, I don't want violence, period. Okay, I don't want a civil war or anything like that. But I think if that's the case, and we're at a point where people feel the need to cast off the bounds of the federal government, I think that secession at the state level would be the way to go. Mm-hmm. Or at the ballot level through the approval process through Congress, trying to divide a state like California is trying to do, and those sorts of things. And that's my answer.
I want to get my comment. I know you have one more to get to.
I do.
The long and short is, my fear for the beginning of this memo is that it's going to be such that people are going to take to the streets. Everything I'm starting to hear now,
at the minimum, this is a lawful RICO.
It's been an approved conspiracy against a political party,
up to and including a coup.
Wait, when you're turning around and you're using political military arm or an organized government agency to shut down a political
opponent.
Weird. Go ahead, BZ. What was your last one?
Let me give you the Demorat defense to all of this, and then let me give you the logical rebuttal.
We have a minute.
The Demorats' defense is going to be the Hillary Clinton defense.
Right.
What difference, after all, does this make? 4 killed in Benghazi. That was yesterday. This memo. That was yesterday. We need to look ahead. In the memo, it's been revealed that due to the dossier used as the foundational element to submit this affidavit, people died.
Allegedly, yes.
People died in Benghazi. 4 Americans.
What difference does it make?
Let me posit this to you. You folks that are listening, you had a loved one killed. It takes 4 years for the investigation to go on. Now, someone eventually comes to you and says, we haven't solved the murder. It's been 4 years. You need to move on. Or do you take the initiative and say, we need to continue to press the case, and let's say it takes 5 years for a suspect to be arrested. Do you want that suspect to be arrested, or do you move on? The same with Benghazi, the same with the dossier, the same with the memo.
Legit justice.
Right is right and wrong is wrong, and everyone knows the difference, and if they don't, they're lying.
Right. They don't want the difference to be shown up because they know what it is.
Or they had bad parents.
Right.
Or they had all them tooths and no toothbrushes.
We're up against the end.
So one thing real quick, Vince McMahon.
XFL.
XFL.
Perfect.
He says that players
timing is everything.
Yep.
Right?
Players shall stand for the national anthem. He's getting the XFL back up and running again.
Getting the band back
He's
together.
getting the band back together. Get out of my head.
I think it's a brilliant move.
I think it's the right time to strike.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Timing. I would watch them.
I would watch anything right now that's sports related.
Folks, final question. Are you going to watch the Super Bowl, Sean?
Yes.
I am not.
Absolutely not.
I'm
Fuck
not
no.
either.
Nope, absolutely not.
It's the one game of the year I'm probably going to watch.
Nope.
I'm not going to lie.
Nope.
Folks, that's it for the Sackheads Radio Show live from the SHR Media Network. They'll be back next week. I'm off. Ha-ha. I'm off.
Ha-ha.
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 Oh. Ha-ha. Ha-ha. Aha! Ha-ha.
Oh, are you?
Remember that cartoon? The
Yes.
door, back and forth, the dog. We'll be back.
So he's hiding in the stove, is he?
We'll see you next week, folks.
Goodbye.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America.
Would I throw a lidded match if my old pal Muggsy was in there?
To give you the best in conservative talk, the Sackhead Sean and Sackhead Clint. And we're working on the immigration papers for a certain other guy who happens to work here, too. For those who are tuning in around the world to the best late-night conservative talk, Sackheads Radio.
Sackheads. Sackheads.
Radio.
Sackheads. Sackheads.
Radio.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America. In America.
And in this web was a large, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest spider I've ever seen.
Hell no, to the no, no, no.